What's up, guys? What I want to look at in today's video is I want to look at the 4 classical virtues and how, as Christians, they can actually help give us a very helpful lens or framework for how to work through various moral conundrums that we may find ourselves in. And when we utilize these 4 virtues and weigh them one with another, they can help us to make proper moral discernment as Christians. Now, of course, as a caveat, this is always going to be in line with the teaching of the church and biblical teaching, which go hand in hand. But it can be a very, very helpful framework for how to help us work through individual crises we may find ourselves in or conundrums we may find ourselves in. Now, quick plug, I do want to say, if you like the content of this channel, just keep in mind a subscription and or a like can really help us grow in the early stages of this channel. So I just want to quick throw that out there as a plug. Okay. Now, what are the 4 classical virtues? Okay. They are temperance, prudence, justice, and courage. Okay. I'm going to say that again. Temperance, prudence, justice, and courage. Okay. Now, a quick definition: temperance would be, of course, the ability to restrain yourself. Prudence would be the ability to think logically and consistently and coherently about something. So being very tight and careful about what you're doing. Justice speaks for itself, obviously doing what is right unto another. And then courage, the courage to practice those things. Okay. So let's look at a quick example. Let's say like holding Sabbath or keeping Sabbath in the scriptures. Okay. When Jesus comes and he's talking to them about healing somebody on the Sabbath or something like this, or he talks about, would you grab your animal if it fell into a hole on the Sabbath? What he's not saying is that this keeping Sabbath didn't matter, because it does matter. Keeping the Sabbath observant, of course, for the Jewish people, it's Friday night. It was Friday night to Saturday night. For us, it's Sunday. But keeping Sabbath, keeping the Lord's Day, I realize you can make a theological distinction there as well. But keeping the Lord's Day is essential, okay? And we should hold that with veracity. And just a quick side note, I myself always tend towards prudence. So being very careful and consistent with what we do is important, okay? However, what Jesus is also noting here is that being just in caring for the person who is sick, or being just to the animal who fell in the hole, also fulfills the moral law. And what we don't want to become lax about our prudence, but we also want to be just in the exercise of that, right? We also want to be temperate in how we might react to something, okay? And we want to have the courage to put it into practice. And now, some people will lean more towards justice and need to work on their prudence. Some people, like myself, will be more prudent and need to work on their justice and their temperance with certain situations. But keep in mind that just weighing all of these can really help us as Christians make proper moral discernment and grow in holiness and righteousness, to grow more into being the reflectors of the Holy Trinity that we're meant to be, those created in God's image.